conflict between Donald Trump and his own Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, continues, although it appears to be a one-sided conflict with one side constantly attacking the other side and then the other side not really responding to it. So the latest has to do with the fact that two Republican representatives are now dealing with some pretty heavy charges against them, and Donald Trump wants to blame Jeff Sessions and the Department of Justice for it. So here is what Trump had to say via Twitter. Quote, two long-running Obama-era investigations of two very popular Republican congressmen were brought to a well-publicized charge just ahead of the midterms by the Jeff Sessions Justice Department. Two easy wins now in doubt because there is not enough time. Good job, Jeff. So who was Trump referring to? Well, first there's Representative Chris Collins, who was accused of insider trading. Insider trading charges related to a pharmaceutical company that he was heavily invested in. It turned out that there was some bad news involving a clinical trial for a pharmaceutical drug that this company was behind. And once that clinical trial didn't go well, Collins hit up his son, called him several times, finally got him on the phone, told him to sell the stock. That is insider trading. It is illegal, which is why he's facing charges. The second representative is Duncan Hunter, someone that we've had a lot of fun with over the past couple weeks. He routinely used campaign funds to pay for personal bills. He and his wife are facing charges in that case.
The two famous parts of that are they flew their pet rabbit across the country and used campaign funds to do it. And they paid for shorts for Duncan Hunter Jr., but claimed that it was golf balls for wounded warriors. So a couple parts of this story. One, this is great news because Donald Trump just implicated himself. I'll explain why in a second, so I'll come back to that. Two, I mean, even if you're a regular person, you don't know about the law and you're a Trump fan, et cetera, isn't it kind of obvious what he's doing here? He's saying, I don't care what they did. I just want them to win. So if they were corrupt and they were part of the swamp, who cares? If they lied about helping veterans, wounded warriors, who cares? If they did insider trading, who cares? If they robbed good, honest Republicans who gave money to their campaigns so that they could win elections and put forward conservative principles, but they robbed them, who cares? All I care about is politics. But even more important than that, he's telling his Attorney General, the head of the Justice Department, do not follow the law, do not enforce the rule of law, be partisan, make political decisions, let Republicans go, and punish Democrats whether they did it or not. And he has said that a number of times. Why don't they, Jeff Sessions should investigate Hillary Clinton and all the Democrats, et cetera. Based on what? I don't know, some emails. The same exact thing that Ivanka and Jared Kushner did, having private emails, right? It doesn't matter. He's publicly declaring, punish my political opponents by misusing the law. Even if you're MAGA, you gotta see that clear as day.
Right, and so I wanna just make one quick, clear point about Duncan Hunter and what he did. Understand that Duncan Hunter took campaign donations. People who donated money for him as a candidate, something that we disagree with, right? We don't want massive campaign donations. He took $250,000 worth of campaign donations and used it to pay his personal bills. He misused his own supporters' funds. So this Donald Trump tweet doesn't have to do with the Russia investigation, although he is, of course, super salty about Jeff Sessions recusing himself. This is about going after Jeff Sessions for doing the right thing in regard to Republican representatives who very clearly broke the law.
Point number three is, even if you wanted your Attorney General to do that, why would you admit that publicly?
Because he's an idiot. He's an idiot. He loves incriminating himself. Like, his Twitter account is Exhibit A in the Mueller investigation.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't even really have to do much of an investigation. I give you all the evidence, Trump's Twitter account.
Yeah, look, there's two parts of it, like I said. There's the politics and then there's the legal. On the politics side, I think that he's piling on a lot of straws, even onto his MAGA camel's back. And he's asking those MAGA guys to keep believing in things that their whole life they claimed they didn't believe in. So he's saying, rule of law, who cares? Let's just be partisan. Republicans their whole life pretended, oh no, we care a lot about justice and rule of law and it shouldn't be a thing that's partisan, et cetera. And now he's just rubbing your face in it, right? And anyone can see it, anyone.
So look, Trump's base is unmoved by any of this. They will support Trump. They will do as Trump asks them to do. But if you can recall, last week we talked about a recent Washington Post ABC News poll that showed that the majority of Americans, we're talking about in the 60s, support Mueller's investigation, do not believe that Sessions should be fired. Look, and by the way, for our progressive viewers, I want to be clear that I'm not a Sessions supporter. I'm specifically talking about supporting Sessions in this very specific, context. Yeah. He should not be fired just based on the fact that he once did the right thing in recusing himself, or that he did the right thing in going after these Republican representatives who broke the law. He actually did the right thing in these cases, and Trump wants to go after him for that reason.
It's not that complicated.
Yeah.
He's wrong on all the other things. He's right on this. He actually did put aside partisanship and did his job as Attorney General in pursuing these guys who clearly broke the law. So look, finally, and look, sorry, one more thing on politics actually. You're right. And in all the videos that we have Eric Byler going to interview, sometimes Emma Vigeland does it for Rebel headquarters, sometimes Eric Byler does it. You watch those videos, even of Trump supporters wearing Trump paraphernalia going to Trump rallies. And half of them will tell you, no, Mueller's got to finish the investigation. Mm-hmm. So I think that Trump is playing with fire. That MAGA camel's back has one too many straws. He keeps doing things that are obviously corrupt and brazenly so, and that goes to stupidity, which then returns me to the legal issue. Benjamin Wittes is the editor-in-chief of the national security law blog Lawfare, and he went on TV today and made a point that I think is obvious if you're a lawyer, and if you're not, that's why I'm explaining it here, right? You have to show, in a case of obstruction of justice, intent, so bad intent. Now that's a really hard thing to show. Hey, I didn't fire Comey, not with Donald Trump, exactly, right? Because it's so easy for Donald Trump to say, oh, yeah, I fired Comey, but not because of the Russia investigation. I didn't have bad intent. I wasn't trying to stop an investigation of myself. That would be bad intent. No, I fired him because I didn't like the way he ate his tuna sandwich. You can give it any other reason, okay? I didn't like the way he treated Hillary Clinton, which was the legal reason that Rosenstein gave. It's laughable, but at least it's legal to do that. No one believes it, but it's a good enough lie, right? But Trump can't help himself. So he went on TV and he said, yeah, I fired him because of Russia. You just proved bad intent. Okay, if that wasn't enough, then he comes out in here and says, you shouldn't pursue investigations of Republicans. He said it, okay? That shows you bad intent. I want to obstruct justice when it comes to investigations of Republicans, myself and others, because I care about politics. He talks about how we're 2 months away from an election and how he wants them to win politically. You just proved bad intent. You can't then turn around and go, oh no, I wanted Sessions to not do that investigation because I didn't think it was appropriate legally. You just said it was because of politics.
Right, so Cenk, you're not the only person making this argument. Now, some might argue, well, Cenk, he's a lefty. Should we trust what he has to say? Should we trust his analysis? I would argue, yes, you should. But even if you think that you can't trust a progressive on this, if you happen to be one of our conservative viewers, here is Judge Napolitano also weighing in on whether or not Trump is doing something shady and possibly illegal. Take a look.
This is evidence of serious crime here. And there can't be two standards, one for members of Congress, Republican members of Congress, and one for others. It is the duty of the Justice Department to prosecute crimes when they find them and to bring indictments when a grand jury has decided there's enough evidence there. In the case of Congressman Collins from New York, there's an actual tape of him on his cell phone at the White House during a party hosted by President and Mrs. Trump, telling his son, sell the stock.
So it's obviously wrong what Trump is doing. It's obstruction of justice. And he just handed the Mueller team a huge Christmas gift early. I know he thinks that he's getting everybody to say Merry Christmas, but soon Mueller might be saying Merry Christmas to him because that was a hell of a gift he just gave him. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below. Then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.